General McLeer's trusted assistant Hunter walked up to the meeting place with the Blue Army. The newly appointed Blue leader, Commander Barr, had brought a few troops for protection. Hunter had come alone, as a sign of trust and peace. "General McLeer didn't have the guts to face me himself, huh?" Barr said. "Sorry, Commander. McLeer is predisposed on an important mission this afternoon. However, he told me to send you his best." "What could be more important than this?" Barr snarled. "I'm afraid I cannot disclose that information," Hunter answered. "However, what I can tell you is that we did not order the assassination of your leader." "Well then, who did? Witnesses prove it was a tan soldier in your uniform," Barr growled angrily. "Sir, there is clearly some type of trickery at play here. Perhaps the Greens or Reds have been trying to get you to gang up on us," Hunter pleaded. "Well, I suppose that certainly would be the Green and Red MO. Very well, we shall call a ceasefire for the time being while our top analysts investigate this further. However, if we find that you were indeed the ones behind this, then we will strike you so fiercely that you will wish you had never started this war." "Thank you, Commander. We are confident you will find the truth behind this mess," Hunter said calmly. While Hunter was negotiating a ceasefire with the Blues, General McLeer was speaking with the Grey leader Jason Cann. The Greys had been the longtime rival of the Plastic Kingdom. The Great War between the Plastic Kingdoms some 15 years ago had been caused by the Greys. The Greys and Reds wanted to cut off larger plots of land for themselves, and the Greens and Tans stood strong defending against the invaders. Eventually, the peace-loving Blues joined the war in self-defense. "So, what brings you here, McLeer? Last time we met, it did not end on good terms," Jason said. "Well, we're in need of your help. We're facing 3 enemies at once. We can't keep up with the demand for soldiers." "This is certainly a wonderful situation, isn't it? The great Plastic Kingdom's leader, General McLeer, coming and begging to the Greys. Sorry, what did you call us again in the last meeting we had?" "Barbarians, I believe," McLeer answered awkwardly. "Ah, yes, that's right. So why should us barbarians help you?" "Well, we can try to make it worth your while. Do you still want land outside of this horrible northern tundra?" "Well, now you're talking. What can you offer us?" "We can discuss the land annexation after we successfully defeat the Reds and the Greens. It will be dependent upon how much work you and your men contribute." "Fair is fair. Well, what are we waiting for?" So, the new Tan-Gray alliance was started. The 2 armies combined and marched south towards the front lines. They decided to attack deeper into Green's territory, specifically into villages where the Tans would be able to plant new crops for their still suffering populace. Hey guys, what's going on? Daily Tactics here, and today we are back with another episode of the Army Men Civil War series. So, as you could probably tell from the intro, the Tans and the Greys have allied up, and now they are doing a joint attack on a Green defensive line here. This is a Green village that has been completely evacuated, and the Greens have set up, defensive lines, trenches, stuff like that, in anticipation of a battle, because it's on the front lines, so it only makes sense that they would do that, There are a few Red troopers in here every so often, not as many as the Greens because this is a Green position, but the Reds are their allies, so it makes sense for a few Red troopers to be scattered about. So yeah, they've got actually a pretty solid defensive line here. It goes really far back into the village. They've got quite a number of these Sherman tanks. They've got a few pack guns, like here's a pack gun. They've also got some troopers like in these manholes, which I think is a really cool feature. Here's another one. So yeah, it'll be a pretty epic battle. The Tans and the Greys have Shermans. They have 2 of their super patent tanks. Let's see here. Where is one? Here's one. Sorry, Pershing tanks, super Pershing tanks. They've got a few of these M24 Chaffies and just a lot of Shermans. The Greys have some Shermans as well. And then infantry is in the back here. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright. Oh my god. A shell immediately hits this tank. It goes through the tank and just evaporates a soldier behind it. That is brutal right there. Meanwhile, the tanks seem to be charging forward first. They're doing their classic blitzkrieg strategy. That seems to be the Tans' favorite, and it seems like the Greys have adopted it as well. A lot of the green soldiers are going down on the initial front lines here. That's to be expected. If you're positioned on the front lines, you're bound to go down extremely quickly. But the second line here is firing away. We see a lot of green soldiers with some LMGs, things like that. It's looking pretty cool. Shots are being fired at the tanks here, but they don't care. They're just rolling over these trenches. Oof, huge hit right there as a Sherman goes down. That is brutal. Brutal. The tanks seem to be ignoring some of this infantry actually over here. Not so much anymore, now they're opening fire into it. But they're getting very close to the infantry and just trying to completely move past it. Let me quickly go invisible here because I don't want those pop-ups happening during the video. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so gray tanks seem to be taking cover behind this building, and one of them is even moving through it, but it blows up, and the building goes with it, crushing a green soldier behind it. Seems like the defensive lines are struggling pretty majorly here. Although a few troops have been left behind over here by the tanks, and tan and gray soldiers are having to do a little bit of cleanup back here. We've got some like mortar shells landing onto them. But they're actually doing a pretty good job of sweeping up this beginning part, except for now, the tan and gray tanks are taking an absolute beating. And they're losing some troopers now, or some tanks now, which are of course a valuable asset to them. Seems like those that aren't completely dead are tracked and immobile. We've got one of the Super Pershings moving forward. Hopefully it can take care of some of the defensives later on. It seems like the major problems are going to be these Shermans that are dug into the ground, giving them just proper defenses right here. The only place that the Super Pershing can target it really is the main gun. So it's going to be tough to take that out. And the Super Pershing over here seems to have died. Oh, this M24 Chaffee made it pretty far, but then exploded. Oh my god, Super Pershing taking down this building and the neighboring building over here too. Wow. Alright, the tank battle has almost all but ceased, with the Greens actually coming out victorious in that regards. This entire front of the village, this was populated by buildings and defenses, is just cleared out now due to the explosions. That is crazy. And the right side over here is following suit. So it seems like it's going to be just an infantry game from now on, with gray and tan soldiers advancing forward. They have plenty of bazookas, so they can deal with the green tank defenses. They just need to get a little bit closer now. Seems like the trench lines are still holding over here on the right pretty well. Guys are just popping up, taking a few shots, and then ducking back down. We've even got an LMG over here, but no, he gets smashed in the head. His helmet goes flying off, and he is dead. Alright, so this gray-tan alliance seems to be pretty beneficial. Of course, the real question is, what are the Greys going to get out of it? Is this war going to be just silly for the Tans now that they have to give a part of the lands they captured to the Greys? You know, allying with a former enemy is never a great idea, so who knows how this will end up going. We've actually got some tan and gray soldiers advancing pretty far in over here, right up against the enemy. There are still living enemies over here. That's a dangerous game they're playing, and yeah, they got shot down pretty quick there. But I mean, these soldiers are still advancing. This tank over here is actually still alive. It might be able to do a little bit of cover fire for the advancing infantry, but maybe not a ton. By the way, guys, on Monday I did upload a Rico's Brigade video. It did not get a lot of views, which is kind of surprising because usually Rico's Brigade gets a lot, maybe because it was on a Monday and not usually on the Saturday. But if you haven't checked it out, I highly recommend you do, because I know a lot of people like that series and like to keep up with it, and I'm not sure why. You know, usually those ones get like 7,000 views in the first day. This one only got like 3. So, I mean, if you want to see it, check it out. It was an okay episode. Of course, if you don't, feel free not to. That's totally okay too. I just thought I'd let you know in case you missed it. Alright, so the tan and gray soldiers are advancing now into sort of the second line of defense here. They're going through the trenches now over here, firing away. There's actually some some green and red soldiers beyond this little waterfall over here. This is a really cool position, I think. The bazooka men are actually firing at infantry. That's not a bad strategy in lieu of tank support. This is actually pretty cool, storming the trenches, things like that, going down. Oh my god. So what do you guys think about the alliance between the Greys and the Tans? I think it's kind of worrisome. I don't know if I love it, you know? I think it'll make some cool story arcs, but I don't know if I think it will be beneficial to the Tans in the long run, kind of a thing. Like right now it seems great because they're steamrolling together. Well, I wouldn't say steamrolling, they're taking a lot of losses, but you know, it could be bad for their nation. Who knows? We'll have to see in future episodes. There's obviously some serious scheming going on. We're not totally sure what's going down with that, especially with the whole blue situation. That's a little bit terrifying for the Tans, I'm sure. Alright, but the Tan and Greys seem to have met their match over here. They're kind of stalling out in this area, not managing to go much farther than here. Is this tank's still alive? I guess they just haven't gotten a bazooka man over there yet. It is lobbing shells at these soldiers over here, so they're going to want to try and take this out. I mean, these soldiers don't have bazookas, so there's not much they can do. Are there any bazooka troopers nearby that can help? I'm not seeing them. I'm leaving them to their own devices. People get mad when I interfere, so I really only do it if the battle is, you know, really needing a little oomph. But now we're getting into some serious inner street fighting over here. Many Tans and Greys going down. Oof! That was a big explosion. Not totally sure where that came from. But they seem to be like staying away from the direct middle here. Might be a good idea because a lot of defenses are located right in the middle there. But they do seem to be sticking to the outskirts. Oh my god, there was like a slaughter over here. Whew. We totally missed that. Maybe it was this tank. Oh, finally. Bazooka trooper got over here, managed to take out the tank. Now the crew is bailing out, and they're managing to eliminate them, kind of? Not really. Oh, okay, so that crew did a lot of damage. They'll have to eliminate them at some point, but we seem to have another bit of a stalemate going on over here. Tans and Greens not managing to get much farther than these buildings here, but they still have a lot of troops in order to take these guys out. These two crew members are still here. One of them just got shot down by this LMG guy. He's reloading. That guy must have been like out of ammo or something because he was not firing. But in terms of green and red defenses, there are still plenty to go around. Very few of these men way back here have actually gone down, which is a no bueno for the Tan-Gray alliance. Let's see here. Where are the tanks situated? There's one tank here. There's another tank here. This is going to be a bad place to attack because 2 tanks in a row, never good. And there's one tank over here, but that's just a single tank, so they can deal with that relatively easily. You see still some explosions going off, injuring and killing some troops here. They're getting further and further along, which is good, but, I mean, they just lose so many men doing so. I'm not sure if they'll end up coming up on top in this battle overall. I like getting these bird's eye views every once in a while. I think it's pretty good. Alright, so I'm going to try and do a video of Army Men Civil War on Friday as well, because you guys seem to really like it when I do the double uploads of this series, and then Saturday, hopefully I'll get another Rico's Brigade out. And then Thursday, I think I'll do one of the Star Wars Conquest videos. So that's like my game plan, that's what I'm hoping will occur with this week's uploading schedule. Not totally sure if it will, just because there's a lot going on right now. It's making it kind of difficult to continue to upload at my normal schedule, but I'm doing my best, trying hard to. So that's my goal. If we reach that goal, I will be ecstatic. If we have to alter it slightly, I think that's okay as well. Oh man, it's so cool looking. Just like soldiers fighting like this, but being all one color. I don't know what's like so appealing about it, but there's something there, you know? So it seems like the most of the tan and gray forces have made it up to this sort of church area and are starting to climb over that area, eliminating the red and green soldiers as they go. But I mean, they're still getting gunned down. I think they really got to start focusing on these tanks, and hopefully they have enough bazooka troopers to take them out. Got some troopers healing over here, and got a bunch just sort of chilling over here, taking a breather, because this is just constant battling for a solid amount of time. They're finally eliminating some of these guys over here on the flanks. They've got a few soldiers around here. Here's a guy with an M60 who's just rattling off in some rubble. Here's a gray soldier over here who has lost his helmet, but still got his grease gun, still fighting along. So yeah, there's a few troopers in the middle and on the right over here, but mainly they're concentrated on the left. And it's very much so guerrilla, warfare fighting, one step at a time kind of a deal. Oof, that was a big hit. That took out like 3 or 4 soldiers right there. One gray soldier left standing though, firing his M60 from the hip. Rambo style. That's pretty cool, come on. You gotta admit it. This guy's got, is that a Bren gun, I think? Not totally sure. Well, it's going kind of quiet. I mean, there's still some gunfighting going on, but overall I would say, you know, we're getting to the end of the battle when there's less and less troops for both sides, and it's becoming iffy knowing who is going to win the battle. I love these M1 Garands. They look super cool. Especially when they're fired off. Oh yeah. So I was considering getting No Man's Sky because I heard there was a Star Wars mod for it. A subscriber actually notified me about that. So I might end up doing that if you guys want to see some Star Wars mod action of that. That'll be pretty cool. And I also thought about maybe doing like some... what was that game called? Homeworld, which is like Army Men versus Bugs. It's its own game. But I don't know if you guys would want to see like more Army Men content beyond Army Men Civil War. I might leave that stuff up to like Mighty and Baron because they already do a pretty good job covering it. And my main spiel is sort of Star Wars plus this. So yeah, I haven't quite figured everything out with the channel, like where I want to go with it, but I think we're actually coming along pretty nicely. We got 2 main series going on, plus Star Wars Conquest, which is a bit more of a side series, and then just sort of your random Star Wars videos that occur every once in a while. And I think that's a pretty good combo, but if you guys want to see any particular stuff, let me know. Oh my god, that guy just disappeared. Yeah. I'm kind of having, commentating about different stuff now because, I mean, the battle's winding down. There's only so much we can say about it, but, I mean, it looks like the tanks are just holding the line so well for the greens here. If the tans and grays had managed to just save a few of their tanks, there's one alive back here, but it is damaged. Maybe we can get some repairs on it. We'll help the crew out, and they can do some repairs, but, I mean, beyond that, the greens and reds don't have that much infantry. If you look on the minimap up here, they've got like 3 or 4 guys over here, 3 or 4 guys over here, but it's these 3 tanks. And then the grays and tans have a lot of infantry, but only 1 tank, and it's damaged back here. We're getting repairs down on it, but I mean, even that probably won't be able to take on 3 fully functioning Shermans, you know? So we'll see what goes on. It has gone completely quiet now, no gunshots. Oh, okay, someone just ruined the piece. But it seems like, yeah, we're at a bit of a stalemate here. Gray and tans have infantry advantage, greens have tank advantage, reds have no advantage. Well, the reds have an advantage of being allied to the greens. They actually do have one bazooka guy over here who's firing a few shots. God, this tank is brutal. They just need to flank it, get around it, you know? I don't even know if do they have any bazooka troopers? Mayhaps not. I don't see any. Well, yeah, let's look around. There's actually a bunch of troopers, like way back here. There's a bazooka trooper. There's a bazooka trooper. Oh, there's like 5 bazooka troopers. For some reason, the bazooka troopers like to like hang in the back. Alright, so we'll push them forward because they're quite obviously just not coming forward for some reason. And glitching the game. Or they're cowards, who knows. But you know, these guys are obviously much needed support, so we'll bring them forward. Alright, so we got bazooka troopers coming forward now. Is this tank operational? No. We can still try and repair it, I guess. Do some field work. But here comes the bazooker men. Oh my god, how is this building still standing? Its like entire foundation is almost ripped to shreds. And more soldiers are dying in the front line over here. Might have even been a few of the bazooka troopers that are so valuable. Got a red soldier holding out over here. 3 guys over here. Oh man. Alright. Here come the bazooka troops. See what they do. Ooh! One of them just got hit by a shell. There's like 5 of you right here. Alright, should we just like make these guys go forward because they're not doing anything? Yeah, alright, go forward, guys. Alright, they're making it. They made it here. They don't seem to be able to launch their missiles. There's one guy with the M16 crawling through the cobblestone, gets headshotted. That's the end of him. Alright. There are just not a lot of troopers left. Oh my god. Forgot about this guy. Can't believe he's still alive. He's taking a little bit of fire. Not enough to kill him, though. From these tan soldiers. Whew. Either way, whichever side wins, it will be a Pyrrhic victory. If you can call it a victory. I mean, both sides have suffered heavy losses. Alright, can we just... Alright, buddy, here we go. I missed. Alright. There we go. Didn't do anything. I'm trying to get this tan soldier to actually fire his bazooka. There we go. Well, the main gun on that's broken. Oh, the Sherman has been repaired and is now moving forward. Alright, look at this gray soldier. Rat-a-tatting away. Oh, he's dead. I'm trying my best not to help, but like the battle doesn't really go anywhere unless you know, something gets done. And right now nothing is getting done. You know? You feel me? Alright, let's just do a... We'll just gather these troopers, order them to just do a full-on attack here. Just attack that tank. And what happened to the Sherman? It's... What are you doing? Why is it going over that way? Alright, so we got a last-ditch attack over here. Alright, it seems like the Tans and Greys are actually getting some shots on that Sherman. They're not managing to take it out, though, and their bazooka men are dying slowly. Oh, actually, those guys managed to get up. Oh, they took out a tank. Oh, my god. Hallelujah. And here comes a Tan tank over here. Alright. So now, really, it's going to be an easy battle now for these guys. They just need to sideswipe over here and just take out the rest of this stuff. You know? That's all they gotta do. It's easy. And we'll bring that tank up. I mean, even without me helping, this should be a Tan Gray victory. Like, no doubt, it should be. Just all depends on them actually, like, doing what they're supposed to do rather than the AI just derping around and doing nothing, you know? So I'm just gonna position the guys. I'm not gonna direct control them or anything. I'm just gonna make them do what they should be doing all along. Because this really should be their victory. Alright. And while this tank goes this way, these troopers will flank around behind. Because, I mean, they have all of the flanks available to them. you know, they should manage to get this. Alright, so here they come in here, and they take out the tank, maybe? Or maybe they just heavily damage it. Yep, they take out the tank. And the soldiers burst fire down that crew. And is that the last? Nope, there's still 2 soldiers over here. Oh, the guys that were in the manholes, they just hid. Alright, well, we'll have them come forward and try and beat these guys up. I mean, honestly, this victory was super costly for the Tans and Greys. I mean, look, they have, what, 8 men alive and 1 Sherman, which is, like, pretty damaged to begin with. They, to call this a victory is, you know, generous. And I know people will get salty at me for, like, commanding in the very end, but, I mean, you saw the Greens and Reds had, like, 10 soldiers and 3 tanks, and the Greys and Tans had, like, 30 or 40 men, able-bodied, with bazookas. There was no doubt they should win that, and, you know, they did in the end, but, I mean, they took heavy, heavy losses. Let's see. We can actually see how many men there are. There's, like, okay, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 6 infantrymen and 1 tank. That is all that is left in this graveyard of soldiers. So yellow are the Greens and Reds here. Red are the Tans and Greys. Both sides taking just so many losses. Really crazy battle. Either way, guys, I hope you enjoyed watching. Comment and subscribe if you did. I got my link to my Discord in the description below. There's my Instagram down there. There's my Twitter. My Patreon if you want to donate. All that good stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Comment and subscribe if you did. And I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.